Now it's the Raw for 106.1 KISS FM, flying solo today on the Enhancement talent. My broadcast colleague and tag team partner in broadcast is on the Fastlane to Florida, enjoying a week-long vacation. It'll be me with you this week, but I've got a whole lot of thoughts on WWE's Fastlane pay-per-view last night. Almost all of them incredibly positive. This is traditionally one of my least favorite shows of the year. The show between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania was oftentimes filled with some sort of filler to get some sort of buy rate. Usually it's had a big sell, some sort of gimmick to sell a pay-per-view. This one had no Elimination Chamber. It had no Hell in a Cell. It had no sort of bells and whistles to try to get you to buy. It had what I like out of a pay-per-view. It had great writing, and it had good wrestling, and it had big impact on the biggest show of the year, WrestleMania, which is now 5 weeks away, minus 1 day. Excuse me. Let's start at the top of the show. There were two matches that started the show that Eric and I that they had not been announced as of the time that Eric and I recorded before our predictions. The six-man tag, which included Seth Rollins, Kane, and Big Show taking on Ziggler, Ryback, and Eric Rowan. This, in my opinion, was one of the more forgettable matches on the show, and that's saying a good thing because the match was good. Ziggler always, man. Ziggler is the man right now, and I'm hoping that he does not get ignored this coming WrestleMania like he oftentimes does. This is a guy who should be in a high-profile position. He shows it every single time he's in the ring. He's got no wasted matches. Ziggler has no throwaway matches. Anytime he wrestles, he's in the best match of the show almost always, the last night notwithstanding. But he's a guy who hopefully is going to be in a big position at WrestleMania. The rest of the guys, to me, I'm less concerned about right now, except for Seth Rollins, who, honestly, I don't see why he couldn't mix it up with Dolph Ziggler at WrestleMania anyway. After that, there was Cody, Rhodes, Stardust, and Goldust taking on each other. This was something I was surprised didn't wait until WrestleMania, although, honestly, it still could carry over into WrestleMania. I liked it. I've been critical of Stardust because I don't think he's been a good character so far. Now, I'm a big Goldust fan. I'm okay with being wild and crazy and wearing the purple suits and wearing the body glitter and being bizarre. But I need a reason. I need some sort of backstory. And from somebody who was just a run-of-the-mill Cody Rhodes not too long ago, it's never worked for me. But now that there's some sort of professional jealousy and some sort of fight for your father's attention, a black sheep kind of storyline going on, I'm totally cool with everything that's happening with it. I hope that it does parlay into a match at WrestleMania. Their match last night was just fine, I thought. It got some things accomplished, and unfortunately it's probably going to set up for the final match of Goldust. But Goldust is a guy who deserves his own segment on the Enhancement talent, if you ask me, because when you think about complete characters, Goldust has to qualify as one. Undertaker's probably first. And when I think about what makes a complete character, I think about their entrance. I think about their music. I think about their moveset. I think about the longevity of their character. And while Undertaker's probably number one, Goldust has got to be on that short list of good characters. He's remained pretty consistent. Yeah, he's had Tourette's here and there. He got electrified once or twice. But for the most part, he's always been that weird kind of freak-like character that he is. He's always looked the same. Undertaker, yeah, he went through his biker phase, which I despised. But he's always been a complete dead man character. These are people who need to use a different moveset because their character is so far from a normal human being, a normal professional wrestler in the first place, that they can't, if they walked in and wrestled like, you know, a Steve Austin type, it wouldn't make sense. So they have different moveset. They walk the ropes. They use the shattered dreams and things like that. So Goldust is a guy I have a lot of respect for. I hope that he and Cody continue this feud for at least 5 more weeks, in my opinion. Let's talk about Bad News Barrett for a second and Dean Ambrose. This was another match that could have gone either way, but was a great match. Dean Ambrose continues to bring this intensity that I love. He never lets me down, and he was that way last night. He had a great match with Bad News Barrett, and it seems like another feud that could still continue. I would love to see it at WrestleMania. I think that's the best place to have Dean pick up the Intercontinental title for real, even though he did walk out with the title last night. He didn't actually win it. He stole it. which I'm okay with. That could make that feud deeper. Two personalities I would love to see clash in Dean Ambrose and in Bad News Barrett. What else happened last night? Paige and Nikki was what it was. I never expect too much out of the Divas, and they delivered a fine match. Let's see. Okay, let's talk about the non-wrestling segments before I move into the two main events. The first was Triple H and Sting, and I ate this up. Sting was a guy I was never a huge fan of because I was never a big WCW guy. There were long stretches of time where I watched WCW, especially for the NWO. Sting never one of my favorites, but I'm eating this angle up, and this angle is being handled 100% properly. Sting has been used so modestly and so rarely that he's still coming off as an attraction. It's always exciting to see him. This was the first time we have seen him scheduled, where at least we were expecting maybe to see him. Every other time we've seen him has been kind of a surprise. And this went really well. Sting didn't have to say a word, and that's who he is. That's totally okay. And actually seeing him get physical got my heart pumping, even though it wasn't a match. When he started getting beaten up and then returning, the favor to Triple H, I was like, this is awesome. I really never thought I'd see this. And even over the past year, when like every month or so you'd start hearing rumors about Sting coming back, I still never thought I was going to see this. And this really, for wrestling fans like myself, fans of the 90s, fans of the Monday Night War, this is the last real dream match we will probably ever get. Sting is the last name worth a damn from that era that has never once had a match in WWE, WWF. This, to me, is special. I'm ready for that match. I'm on board. Also, same can be said for Bray Wyatt and what he did last night. I did not expect to see The Undertaker last night. Of course, we didn't see him. But when Bray revealed that he was in the casket, for some reason, I was surprised. Maybe I just wasn't thinking about it. But that segment to me was exactly what it needed to be. I sort of resent the two guys who wrestle only at WrestleManias, Triple H mostly, and Undertaker. At least Undertaker, I feel like he earned it more. Triple H does it because he can. I'll get to that on some later episode. But there is a story here, and what Bray Wyatt did to Undertaker last night, I loved it, coming out of that casket and calling him out. And this has so many good possibilities written all over it. Bray Wyatt does not necessarily need to be Undertaker at WrestleMania to come out the better star. But imagine if he does. And now that the streak is over, I have no idea who would win between Undertaker and Bray Wyatt, but I know that I want to see it. The two weirdnesses of this match colliding, to me, is going to be must-see. I am not an Undertaker fan. I don't dislike the guy. He's used sparingly now. I can take him like this. But this is a match I would be super excited for. And the fact that the streak is over does not diminish this at all for me. Now I want to talk about Cena and Rusev because John Cena needs a round of applause. And you won't hear me say that very often either. I don't hate Cena. I'm not a Cena hater. A lot of people are Cena haters. But I am in the belief that John Cena does get forced down our throats. Less so lately, but he does. He's too often in the main event. And this is where I like John Cena. In a mid-card, or at least I'll say a non-main event, story-driven angle where I don't know what's going to happen. And that's what happened last night. I'm going to say, well, he didn't get pinned or submit. He got a TKO from Rusev. This is a win that Rusev needed, and it happened the way it needed to happen. I really enjoyed the match, and I want to say one thing about John Cena that I respect about John Cena. In Hogan's peak of popularity, or really any time, Hogan would not have done what John Cena did last night. Steve Austin, when he was the man, would not have done what John Cena did last night. But John Cena did, and I respect it. The match was awesome. Rusev's best match by far, and one of Cena's best matches in a long time. This is a feud that can benefit both of them. Also, I want to see it continue into WrestleMania. The main event, while I hated the outcome, I knew it was going to happen. Actually, I guess technically I thought it was going to be a disqualification or some sort of way to get both people in WrestleMania's main event, Bryan, Reigns, and Lesnar, and I still think that that could happen. Last night, Reigns went over clean over Daniel Bryan, but that match was so back and forth, a nail-biter. I wish I had something bad to say about the card last night, but everybody won me over, and I wasn't in some sort of great mood. Like, I wasn't, like, expecting this to be the show of the year, which it won't be the show of the year, but it was much better than it had any right to be, and it was because of good writing and good wrestling, and you sent this guy, the Rob, home a happy camper. Thank you. The show was great. Leave me your feedback, please. Subscribe to our videos. Eric will be back next week. I'll have a different episode for you on Thursday. For myself, thank you for tuning in. Sorry so long. I was on a roll today. I have a lot of thoughts. I will see you on Thursday.